So, August, here we are. Let me just start out by saying this one should be another bit shorter one. Come to the end of the summer months, so hopefully we can get back into a bit more longer, more fun videos. Really, just I wanted to stand here and talk about the newest map in Black Ops 6 Zombies. Man, Zombies is different now, huh? Like, a lot of stuff has changed since I used to play. And to be entirely fair to it, I do enjoy the different systems. And honestly, whenever I feel like playing an older game, I could just boot up Black Ops 3 and play like all of the best Zombies maps. So I'm not really too worried about, old versus new experience. The main real reason for this video existing is I just want to talk about the Reckoning. As somebody who's enjoyed how the storyline has played out throughout the years, all the different facets of it, what the hell is that ending? I mean, just what the hell is that ending? Like, let me take you back a little bit and let's talk about my experience with the zombie storyline. And anyways, so I've played Call of Duty World at War and loved Zombies. It was a lot of fun. There wasn't really a story to it back then. It was just some guys surviving, and then it became like a group of guys from each of the major powers in the game surviving. And there was that little flytrap Easter egg in Doris. But other than that, there wasn't really much of a story going on. And then Black Ops 1 came out, and Kino, there wasn't so much story. It was like they were teleporting out of Doris and Dempsey shot his Wonderwaff and then they ended up here. And okay, it's not really a story. There's not really any story Easter eggs. But then Ascension comes out and they actually introduce some really interesting Easter egg story to go along with the map. And they start to snowball into this overarching narrative that culminates with the end of Black Ops 1 on Moon. And Moon's story was really, really cool. I mean, it was really awesome when it came out. The twist with Sam in the MPD, and then the transfer of power from from Samantha to Richtofen, and then Richtofen is now the one possessing Sam's body in the MPD. But Maxis is still around, and he and Richtofen have been at odds so much that it ends with Maxis launching missiles at the Earth and blowing up the Earth and pretty much destroying the Earth. And that was a crazy ending. I mean, it's so cool, really awesome. And I like Moon as a map. And then we move on to Black Ops 2, and Black Ops 2 has such an engaging system where all of the Victus crew, they've got Stuhlinger. Only Stuhlinger can hear Richtofen, and Richtofen's giving them different instructions, and Maxis is giving them other instructions. And they can either follow Maxis or they can follow Richtofen. And if you do all of them and you finish the buried Easter egg after doing one side the whole way through, then you get their ending of the super Easter egg. And that was really the birthplace of the super Easter egg. It was very cool, very interesting. And the fact that they rewarded you and they kept track of your progress and rewarded you for doing the Easter egg on all of these maps and trying to get your friends to take each map and play through all of the story. And it was really, really cool. And it was really awesome. And you could choose who won in Buried. And that was super cool. And then after that, they released Origins, and Origins was so good. I mean, it was so good. Like, they rebooted these characters that we all know and love, and they have them doing all these things, and then eventually they send the Maxis's brain with the Maxis drone up into Agartha. And Black Ops 2 was like the genesis of like Agartha and the house and everything. It was just really, really cool. And in Black Ops 3, I mean, they really, really leaned into the story. And I think a lot of people love the story of Black Ops 3. And I agree. I didn't play it on launch, but after buying it on sale one time and playing through a lot of it. I've got to say, it's got a good story. I mean, it's got a good story and a really fun, engaging maps with really fun, engaging Easter eggs games. And then Black Ops 4. And Black Ops 4, I really like what they did with Black Ops 4. They had two separate storylines. The Chaos storyline, which I found to be very engaging and very interesting. And then the Ether storyline, which also was very interesting and very engaging, starring our our old crew, and the twist ending, which I think was awesome, honestly. I think that was really, really good. I think that it's the best thing that they could have done for the series going forward, is basically, from what I understand, they destroyed every other timeline and created a new universe. And so this zombie outbreak thing, cycle, everything couldn't happen anymore. They were done with it. But it came at a cost, but the cost was worth it because the cause was greater than them. And that was really cool. Like, it was a good way to end it, you know. Anyways, that is to say, they shut the book on the Ether storyline. It's done. And I was fine with that. I was really, really happy with how it ended. So then comes Cold War, which I believe was meant to be that new timeline that Nikolai had created for Sam and Edward. And it was a good resolution. And then Cold War comes along, and it's pretty fascinating. Like, the story isn't amazing, but they're doing something different, right? They're trying new things, which I appreciate. I've always appreciated that. But in Cold War, they had introduced this character who was known as the Forsaken. He was kind of like this super big bad. And he was a new force who called the Dark Ether home. And there's a lot of story revolving around it. It was a guy. It was a guy who went into the Aether and into the Dark Ether and kind of cannibalized all of its god, like literally ate like the creatures of the Dark Ether. He got hungry because he was in another world, and he wasn't in another world with a smartphone, so he couldn't order DoorDash. So he had a rumbly tummy. He said, "I'm hungry," and he went and he killed the gods and ate them. I don't know. It was weird. But like, it's interesting, right? Like, it's a guy who ended up going to this other dimension and fending for himself, and as a result, he got corrupted by the other dimension, and now he's super powerful, but he's also this evil guy because he's, you know, he lost his humanity because he was spent too long in the evil dimension and lost, you know. It's cool. It's interesting. And then I'm really convinced, by the way, I'm really, really convinced that, like, it must have been like a higher up executive's son who came up with the Forsaken, and the devs or the writers really, really hated the Forsaken, but they had to keep it in because it was like this dev's like favorite child or whatever, but they really, really hated this character, but they needed him in because otherwise they weren't getting their Christmas bonus or something. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of, because like they gave him the worst boss fight in any Zombies game, like ever. Like I think this, spoiler alert for Black Ops 6, even though I'm going to talk about it, the Sentinel Artifact fight from Black Ops 6, it's a shite fight. I think it's better than the Forsaken because it's kind of like, oh, Sam's got superpowers. She's floating above this gun. Go kill some zombies near the gun and then shoot the gun at one of his weak spots. Do that a few times and you're done. Yeah, it was awful. It was awful. I mean, he's a cool, like, interesting, fascinating character with motivations that aren't like the most insane, but also like they're kind of believable and you could see it, and it's, you know, it's a little bit of Saturday morning cartoon villain, but it's fine because it's Call of Duty. Who cares, right? So anyways, that's how that ends. Is they contain the Forsaken, Sam goes into the Dark Ether, and then everybody gets arrested. And then Modern Warfare 3 Zombies happens in the future, but in our current timeline it happened, and that's a crime. I played it, unfortunately. So then Black Ops 6 comes out, and we've got 2 maps, right? We've got Liberty Falls, Liberty Balls, and we've got Terminus. Terminus is like the more story-rich, story-heavy map. It's the one that it really like personifies the new Black Ops 6 Dark Ether Zombies crew, whereas Liberty Falls, Liberty Balls was a little like, it just kind of set up Panos as a villain. It was okay. It was okay. It was an all right. Like it was, retroactively it's worse after the release of the newest map than it was at its time, in my opinion. When I played it originally, it was pretty cool. It was a unique, interesting idea. Especially it takes advantage of this operator system that we've been using for the last couple of years, where you don't really have any unique characters that are meant to be there. They're just whoever you're playing as to sell the skin. And so it loses a lot of that identity. Terminus, however, is that one the other way, where it has characters that are more than just selling skins. They're actually involved in the story. And if you play as one of these characters, they make moves story-wise and they have different dialogue. And following Terminus and Liberty Falls, Citadel de Moor, I think is how it's said, but just commonly referred to as Citadel. Citadel's a really fun map. I think that its Easter egg is a lot more interesting. You learn about craft, which if you didn't play Vanguard, like I didn't play Vanguard, I dodged that bullet. If you played Vanguard, you know about craft. If you didn't play Vanguard, who cares about craft? Craft is this guy who has like Dark Ether powers as well, kind of, because he studied the occult or something. And it turns out he's Richthofen's dad, and not Reznov, Ravenov, that's his name, from Firebase Z is also back, but he's just kind of chirping on comms. He's not really an important character in the game. You do a bunch of stuff with these swords to fight the Guardian. The Guardian was a fun boss fight, honestly. I thought it was super cool, super hype. The only time I've done it was with friends, and it was really, really fun. It was just an enjoyable, like, it's hectic, but it's not. It feels almost like a raid boss from like Destiny or an actual MMO. Like aesthetically, it feels like it's straight out of WoW. It could be like a Cataclysm raid boss or dungeon boss to me. It's pretty cool. I think that it's fun. I think that it was a lot of fun, and you get meaningful story out of it. It turns out Kraft got killed, tough, but you got the little medallion, and now you're going to a dig site in France. So the last time we went to a dig site in France was Origins, Peak. One of the best maps in history. In my opinion, it might be. It might just be. It's actually really, really freaking good. So there's a lot going on and speculation about it that it was going to be an Origins remake. What we got was not Origins. What we got was a different map. One word, The Tomb. Yeah, The Tomb is a map that exists. It gets a lot of unfair criticism, I think. A lot of people hate it because it's tiny, and it is tiny. It's very small, and each door costs 400 million points to get through. It's stupid. It's not a bad map in terms of layout. It's actually quite fun in terms of layout. Like, you've got the main area, then you've got your 2 side paths that converge at the end, which is cool. And then once you converge at the end, you place the medallion that you earned from the last map into a thing, and it opens the door to nowhere. And the door to nowhere is actually a portal into the Dark Ether, a little sliver of the Dark Ether. And, you know, that's where Pack-a-Punch is, that's where Jug is. So there's like a lot of incentive to go through it. But like the actual map layout, like I've done a lot of grinding for Black Ops 6 Zombies just because I like zombies, and like they added progression to it. So for some reason that makes my ape brain happy. So I've been doing a fair bit of grinding, and one of the best maps for grinding, in my opinion, has been the Tomb. The Easter egg is fine. Like, it's not very good. They really, really tried to lay it on thick with the Origins hype because they added the ice staff from Origins. They didn't add any of the other staffs, but they added the ice staff from Origins. You go through, you build the ice staff, you do some who cares stuff, and then what do we find? The Sentinel artifact from the Chaos storyline of Zombies, Black Ops 4. Now, I liked the story of Black Ops 4. I thought the Chaos story was interesting. However, they didn't do anything with it. So what's this doing here? I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. It's here. Whatever that means. So then we move on to Shattered Veil. Fun map. I think that it's probably my favorite map in Black Ops 6. Interesting story, interesting Easter egg, cool steps, the Wonder Weapon, bringing back the Ray Gun Mark II, and giving it elemental upgrades that do different things, that change its fire mode. I thought that was really cool. And like the upgrades are integral to the story, which they did in the Tomb as well, but it was more boring, less cool. Like, it feels like each of the doors cost pennies on the dollar, just so cheap. There are like 5 billion doors between you and Pack-a-Punch, but each of them is like 20 cents. Like, you're getting to Pack-a-Punch with the same cost as the Tomb, or probably pretty similar. However, you're going through doors. Like, you're just buying them. You're just buying them to buy them. And it really feels like the map's big and you get to do a lot of things on the big map. It's fun. And the story of it is pretty cool. Sam, in the Liberty Falls cutscene, she actually, it turns out, Richtofen got trapped in the Dark Ether, I think. And so Sam needs you to recover the Sentinel artifact, empower it with the souls of the different people who have lived on this property, because this property has actually been very, very paranormal, and empower them with a bunch of these different occult people, and then give it to her. And then she's like, oh, by the way, you're not going to like what comes next, so I'm going to put you in timeout. And she puts you in timeout with Richtofen. Richtofen's like, no, let's get out of here. But then you escape, and then you fight the Z-Rex. And the Z-Rex is a cool fight. It's a little BS, in my opinion. If it does its jump onto you, it can immediately bite you, and depending on your armor situation, that might just kill you. But other than that, like, it's pretty fun, in my opinion, and it's a fun Easter egg. And then we move on to the Reckoning. Map design-wise, it's kind of its own thing. It's just like a bunch of small maps stacked on each other in 2 different areas. And so there's no like hallways to move from one place to the other. There's just a map, like a small map that it's almost like Revelations, huh? Where there's just like a small map area that you've got, and you can do some stuff in there, and then you take something to go to a different small map area. And like design-wise, it's not that bad. It's not very good because they're all roughly, like, they can't be different shapes because they're in towers. So they've got to be relatively the same shape as the one above or below, which kind of sucks. But design-wise, the actual physical maps, they're not that bad. However, the story is garbage. They've somehow managed to take Panos and Blanchard from Liberty Falls, Liberty Balls, and make them side villains or side characters in a conflict that who cares about? No, seriously, who cares? Like, what's the point? It's just, do I want my Wonder Weapon to glow blue, or do I want it to glow red, orange? Does it even change glow? That's it. That's the difference. That is the difference. The upgrades to the Wonder Weapon, who cares? They don't do anything. Like, the one, I think, makes it kind of leave an acid pool while it's doing the grab up, but like, who cares? But actually, who cares? What's the point? It doesn't matter. It's not even good. It's not even good. And then the story, so remember when I said that they must hate the Forsaken? They must really hate the Forsaken, because not only is he in this map doing just a horrible job at trying to be funny, but he's also relegated to, remember Panos and Blanchard, they're relegated to upgrading your Wonder Weapon. The Forsaken is relegated to getting the Wonder Weapon. And not even in an interesting way. You like get the Forsaken to get out of his Pokeball, put him into a mech, and then you kill him. You just kill him. He's just dead. Yeah, he's just dead. That's Forsaken. It's not even hard. just put on the Maelstrom, double tap, pack a punch. Actually, if you do that, you might actually kill the guy that you're cramming him into, but he'll respawn. Who cares? Who cares? So then let's move on. If we don't care about the side stuff, like the side stuff is just so who cares, let's move on to the main. So you go through the steps and they're okay. And you get to the end of the main and you get ready to go to the boss fight. You have a choice. Ooh, cool. Reminiscent of Black Ops 2, choice. Do you help Richtofen or do you help Sam? If you help Richtofen, you're helping bring back his wife and child, and you're fighting Sam. If you help Sam, you aren't bringing back Richtofen's wife and child, and so you're fighting Richtofen. Oh yeah, and you just kill whoever you beat, and you don't kill whoever you don't beat. And then the ending cutscene plays, and your crew just kind of gets teleported into the summoning key. Gone. I think into the summoning key. It might just be the Dark Ether. I don't know. And then they had the balls to pull out the Ether crew. Nope. There they are. All 4 of them. What was the point? What was the point? What was the point of Black Ops 4? What was the point of Black Ops Cold War? What was the point of Vanguard? What was the point of any of that? Who cares? We don't. It just feels like jingling keys. That's all it feels like. It feels like they said, oh, we don't know how to write a story anymore. So here's jingling keys. Oh, look, it's Takio. Oh, look, it's Dempsey. Oh, look, it's Richtofen, but more German. Richtofen was already in it. We already had that connection. What is going on? Who cares? Who cares? That's what it feels like the writer room said. For the whole Forsaken, or for the whole Reckoning. For the whole Reckoning. They just said, who cares? Activision told us we had to make Black Ops 7 next year. Who cares what happens here? Who cares? Who cares? So, at the end of the day, who cares? It was a bad story. It makes me not even, like, I don't think that I'm going to get Black Ops 7 for Zombies. I think I'm going to wait to see the choices and everything for Black Ops 7 before I commit to buying it. Whereas with Black Ops 6, I was like, oh, the zombies, let's go. You know, like, let's actually go. I enjoyed what they were doing in Cold War, how they were trying to iterate on the formula. And what they were trying to do, and for Black Ops 7, it just feels like who cares? And if that's how you end Black Ops 6, is a writer's room saying, who cares? Then why should I care about Black Ops 7? Anyways, that's it for this video. I've already waffled on for way too long, way longer than my script was supposed to be. A lot of this was off script, as I'm sure you could tell. Not very structured. A lot of my videos tend not to be. I'm hoping to stick to a more rigid script next month. But I don't want to end this on a sour note or a who cares note. So let's talk about the best news that has happened since the writing of this video and the actual shooting and editing. Hollow Knight Silksong has a release date. I never really, like, I genuinely, everybody has been hoping for Silksong for the past 3.5 years now. I think people have been really like, okay, it'll be any minute now. We'll see it at a new thing. We'll see it at this new thing. We'll see it at that new thing. We'll see it at this new thing. We'll see it at that new thing. Maybe even longer, but I genuinely never thought at each of those turns and twists, especially after the Xbox showcase, I just never believed in it. I thought that the game would be made at some point, but I just kind of, it was never something that I was like, oh, Silksong's going to be at this thing, or Silksong's going to come out soon, or anything like that. So I genuinely am just shocked. Shocked in a good way. I am so excited for Silksong to release on the 4th, and I will probably not make a video on it. I'm kind of thinking I've got my year planned, but if it does strike me, then I will definitely pivot some things around to try and get that review in. If you want that review, let me know. I might try to squeeze in, if I have the time, a second video one of these months just for Silksong, because I am so excited for it. Genuinely, even though it still doesn't really feel real. It's coming out the 4th, and I'm just so surprised that we actually have a release date for it. I don't know. So we will see. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, go ahead, like it. If you dislike it, please, by all means, dislike. If you have any issues with what I said or any corrections you want to make, leave them in the comments down below. Or if you just want to share what you feel about the Reckoning, that would be cool. But that is all from me for now. So you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.